for today's cup of coffee, we still a work in progress.
Yeah, sort
We've
of.
been a work in progress for years.
I mean, yeah.
And that's
But
all
we're
right.
getting it settled out little by little. I
Little
mean,
by little.
we're at like 209 now? 2009?
Cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think it's
yeah.
2002. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be 2009.
Yeah.
I'm a slow learner. And that's okay. It's okay. Everybody learns at their own rate of speed. Today's cup, this is questions. So, and this is wanting people to comment, put in what they think on this for real. And this is, why is the science going against the government right now about UFOs?
Because they have an agenda that they want to push.
That's what I figure. And so, just notes on this, the U.S. government has been taking UFO/UAP sightings more seriously.
UAP my ass.
So
Unidentified ass project.
why is the science still trying to convince
Unidentified
abductees?
ass pumps.
Why are they trying to convince abductees that their experiences aren't real? The science tries to convince people that their experiences are sleep paralysis, temporal lobe seizures, lucid dreams, hallucinations, and other. And qualified hypnotists who work with abductees understand that the experiences of these individuals are real, and sometimes there's also physical proof. And yet the media / the science, because it's all the same thing, because kids right, it is the agenda, still attacks anyone who would come forward with their stories.
Yeah, very much. I mean, literally, people mock them.
Uh-huh.
Like, relentlessly.
Yeah. The media unfairly questions anyone whose experience goes against the ever-changing current narrative, which whips those who have been conditioned to only think inside the box into a frenzy and to attack anyone who has had an experience outside of the current understanding. And that's that mob mentality that we're seeing today, which is kind of horrifying.
Yeah, very much so.
And many who would share their experiences are frightened into silence after seeing how others who dared come forward have been treated. We've seen that a lot. Bob Lazar.
God love him. He has been just put through the ringer.
Oh, yeah.
He really has.
And, I was listening to, of course, I sleep to some of the Art Bell programs. And Art actually had seen a UFO.
That doesn't surprise me, because, literally he talked about them all the time, so how could he not see them at some point?
Well, he lived kind of sort of near Area 51.
Well, that
which,
makes
of course,
it even better.
he did. Yeah. And he was interviewing Whitley, it's Stryber. I always mispronounce his last name. I can't remember if it's an I or an E. I think it's Stryber. And that man went through hell. And when you listen to his story, it's interesting. And even his experience, the beings that he saw.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my vape. I have
Your
lost it
kids over there
here.
making noises. Because that the beings he saw were different than what is usually reported. People question him because he is a writer. That has even more caused people to question his story about these things.
I mean, wouldn't you question a writer?
Yeah.
If they came out with a supernatural story?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, same.
So
I'm like, how do I know that's not promotion for an up and coming book or something?
Right. And for years, Hollywood and other programmers have pushed self-disclosure and telegraphing about beings that are not human, regardless of their origin, for years, which can cause a form of cognitive dissonance and cause people to gaslight themselves. We have cats with
They have caught the toy
loud
out
noise
from under the door.
It figures. And in many ways, the members of the media are very narcissistic.
Hold on, let me get that. Dang it. Stop
Well,
it.
It does sound like a UFO, so.
Yeah. Here, you want it? You want it?
Oh, we were speaking about distractions, so that goes in there. Anyhow, the members of the media are narcissistic, mentally abusing anyone who dares question them, and then blames those who are abused for the abuse.
Yeah.
Now, this goes in
sick and twisted that
with
they do
people
that.
who have had any kind of paranormal experience or any other kind of experience.
Yeah, it's like, don't gaslight my own fucking experience. I know what I saw with my own damn eyes.
Yeah. I mean, they're
and
doing
it's like
that
they give off it.
Almost everyone right now.
Yeah, and those entities give off energy, and you can't fucking fake that sort of energy.
No, you can't. And it says, so why this sudden division between bedfellows of the government and the media?
Off. You can't fake that fear that some of them give off.
No, you can't. And you got to wonder if this sudden division is another psyop to further confuse and divide people.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely it is. We all know it is.
Yeah, divide and conquer.
Yeah.
And it says,
that's why I'm like, unidentified ass shots.
Yeah.
Unidentified ass projections.
The internet gives people a way to share their experiences in a way that's anonymous, but there are those who, for whatever reason,
Brazilian butt lifts.
Will insert stories that are not real, which again brings into question the authenticity of actual witnesses.
Yeah.
And it's like, are some of those people that go into these communities, have they been implanted into those communities?
Yeah, definitely. Seriously, there are people from all sorts of like agencies planted everywhere in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean,
it's insane.
Yeah,
literally, we are being surveillanced 24/7.
Oh yeah,
not in every location, but damn near it.
Yeah, so it's like, don't think that glowies are just there on political sites.
Nah.
So they're there in lots of areas.
Seriously, watch your back. They literally are everywhere.
Yeah. And it says humans pigeonhole and have a tendency toward the cognitive distortion of black or white thinking, which means if one person lies, then all people lie.
Also, hold up on that. On another thought on that.
Sure.
It's like people think that they look a certain way. Nah. These people know what to do. They know how to dress. They know how to look.
Sure.
Look the part of like normal everyday people. They know how to disguise themselves.
Sure. Are you talking about the reptilians or the government?
Both.
Well, a lot of times it's one and the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, they're working hand in hand with each other.
They are. They truly are. And it says the responsibility often lies with the individual. And if you've had an experience, just refuse to be gaslighted or to gaslight yourself. I looked it up. Gaslighted is the correct word to use.
I thought it was gaslit.
Nah, not according to whichever dictionary that I went to.
I think that dictionary is wrong.
Well, there's gaslit. A lot of them. They're changing the damn dictionaries right now.
Lighted is wrong terminology.
I'm just saying. And you can also find groups of people who have had similar experiences that will not judge your own experience. You need to stand strong in the face of adversity. Trust your own experience and understanding until actual evidence proves otherwise.
What are they considering actual evidence?
Well, let's face it. We do have people who have mental illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
We do. But as far as if somebody has been abducted, usually there's some kind of physical evidence that goes along with that.
Yeah.
If it's these strange marks on their body or whatever. And let me finish this and we'll go back. There are several of these points that I want to go back and discuss. So have an open mind when others are sharing their experiences. It's okay to use discernment and have healthy skepticism, but please listen before speaking. That's something people don't listen well. You know, somebody that's said that they've had some kind of experience like this, or even with ghost or something else, listen to them. Don't just start butting in and telling your 2 cents when you aren't there.
Exactly. That's the thing. A lot of them do not. They're so skeptical that, like, if even a person starts to explain their experience, they just immediately shut them
They
down.
do.
And it's like, then what's the point? Then why'd you ask?
Right. And it's a hard enough thing.
If you just want to shut me down, like, seriously, why the fuck did you ask? Don't ask a question if you already know the fucking answer. It's incredibly rude.
Well, when somebody has one of those experiences, it's just
Or if you think you know the answer.
sort of shocking, and that is human nature to want to try to share that experience.
Yeah.
And to be shut down, that's not,
No.
and it makes, especially if somebody's having a negative, if they're dealing with a negative entity or something, then that means they suffer in silence.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Very much so.
Remember that there is a difference between skepticism and cynicism. And I think that people forget that a lot of times.
Cynicism, that's when somebody is cynical, right?
Yes, and they don't believe anything except themselves. And it's like, put that microscope on yourself.
Yeah. It's like, don't try to pull a splinter out of someone before pulling out the plank of your own eye.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But Whitley Strieber, and when you listen to him, he speaks in a way similar to how he writes. But that's how he shares his experience. And he was telling Art, he's like, that he was a storyteller. That's how he communicates.
Right.
That doesn't mean that his experience was less than.
Yeah.
And it's really pitiful when you hear him say these things. And that's where, as far as the meme about being probed. But it was one of those that this man was sexually assaulted. And that he had gone to a doctor a few days after that, and the physical evidence was there.
Yeah.
And he wasn't sure what had happened. He did have to go to a qualified hypnotherapist that helped him recover the memories. He was at one point convinced that a friend of his who had been with the CIA may have done something to him. He's like, he thought maybe he had been drugged. There's a lot of different things, but his friend that was in the CIA had died months before Whitley was abducted.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then that didn't happen. That could not have happened.
But the hypnosis and stuff did help him with the recovered memory.
Good.
That has happened with a lot of abductees.
Yeah.
And so this weirdness, like I said, it was just peculiar. I started thinking about that today. Why is there...
We should try hypnotherapy.
Yeah. I've done it before, but it was somebody that was not totally qualified.
You got to get someone that's really good.
Yeah, you do. Because you can mess somebody up.
Yeah.
If they don't know what they're doing. Some people are more subjectable. No. What's the word I'm trying to think?
Susceptible?
Susceptible. That's it. It's the verbal dyslexia. Everything's getting jumbled.
It's all
than
right.
others.
It's just one of those days.
Honey, I've had one of those lifetimes. But some people are hypnotized more easily than others. When it's something like this, I think family members were able to be involved in the session, that they were there. So they witnessed to make sure that the therapist did not implant any kind of memories or something like that. That's important.
Aren't the people who are more headstrong, aren't they like the ones that are less susceptible to hypnotherapy?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes. That would be me. For real.
Probably me too. Because
So,
I'm a little and oldest kid is headstrong too. So.
Oh yeah. I'd say
So all of us are kind of like,
Yeah. I think it's a trust issue more than anything.
Yeah.
But there's been quite a few that these things have come forward.
Oh, yeah.
And so what is this sudden break?
Soft disclosure.
I think a lot of it is self-disclosure.
Something's about to happen, and I
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
also a distraction technique in a way, so that they can get people in like fear mode.
Oh, yeah. In sundry, they're trying to splinter people within themselves
They've been doing that for years. Since
because,
TV has become a thing.
oh, yeah.
I mean,
Where I
even
have to,
before TV has become a thing, they've been doing that.
where I have to monitor news so frequently during the day just to get our stories and stuff. And so it's incredible. Well, the yellow journalism has always been horrible, but it's just, they've cranked it up to 11.
Tabloids are fucking atrocious.
It's all tabloid.
At this point, yeah.
And you know how in the movie Men in Black that they went to the Weekly World News to find
get the actual news.
Stories? Yeah. Because they were the only ones that would print some of the stories.
Maybe we need to start getting the Weekly World News again. I mean, they're still in print.
Well, they're online also, but they
Yeah.
don't do original stories the way that they used to. And Bat Boy lives.
Bad boy lives.
Bat Boy lives.
Bad boy.
So it's
Bad
just,
boy.
it is really hard to trust anybody these days.
Oh, yeah.
And for these
Because there's
supposed,
so much disinformation out there.
oh yeah, for these supposed experts to tell you not to trust yourself.
That's gaslighting 101. Do you know what you really know?
Right. Absolutely. And that does, as far as we are all indoctrinated. Any of us that went to public school, we have been indoctrinated. Sit down, shut up, I'll tell you what to think. It didn't teach kids to, have critical thinking, proper thinking skills, encourage them to have their own thoughts, to be inquisitive, to go and search for answers. And in college, my God, that is just, there's no way that I would encourage a child to go to college right now.
Yeah.
I would
some of
encourage skill, trade, something like that they can develop their own business. And I know that's hard in certain professions, but it's like when you see some of these people that's coming out of the colleges these days, that's kind of scary.
Very scary. I mean, they're basically coming out there like completely different people than they
Yep.
were when they went in.
Yeah, and their belief system and their ethics most of the time have been compromised. The doctors who now refuse to take the Hippocratic Oath
Which,
do no harm.
yeah. Which it's like, no, revoke their license immediately.
Yeah.
Ban them from that profession if they do not take that Hippocratic Oath.
Well, even within that, they really don't allow them to be a doctor. What they are, it's like, okay, you have this condition, so therefore you get this prescription and this prescription and this prescription.
They don't want people to be actually healthy because they want people to continue to come back and back and back.
Right.
So they can make more money.
And with these people,
Big pharma.
sure. And it's like with these people who have had these experiences, a lot of them, that they're going to put them on some kind of psychiatric med.
I mean, half the population is already on them.
Yeah. Which numbs down people's experiences.
It numbs people.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of those these people have to be really careful who they talk to about supernatural experiences.
But in a way, can you really blame people for wanting to be numb right now?
No.
Because this is a really fucking scary world that we're living in right now. It
really is right now. And I personally have had this. It was, I don't know that I ever went in at the time that I was doing the paid psychic thing and told them that I was a paid psychic. I was always very much aware when and who to discuss supernatural events with, because I knew that very well some of them, could have gotten me hospitalized.
Well, that's like at the inpatient place. I'm just gonna call it a psych ward for now.
Well, it wasn't.
It wasn't a psych ward, but it was like a mental health facility. Whatever that place, like, you can call it. That's like you gotta pay attention to which employees you can trust there.
That's anywhere.
Yeah.
But especially when it's in the mental health field.
Because some of that shit that you say, you don't want it to be
Mm-mm.
told to anyone else there.
Mm-mm.
For real.
And I am very blessed that I have a therapist that very much understands about what's going on with me, and that she has a dear friend of hers that was witness to a period of my life that when I was doing the paid psychic thing.
Oh, she has a friend that you knew long
Absolutely.
ago?
Absolutely. Somebody that was there.
Oh.
So that person has verified everything that I have told therapists.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. There you go.
So that always helps when you do have somebody that, and like I said, I hadn't talked to that girl in, like, at that point, maybe 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps.
You still haven't talked to her, but you talked to your therapist.
Yeah. But I've also had other witnesses to different supernatural events.
Well, other employees at the time, clients, all that shit.
Well, I've had family members.
Family
I've had
members,
child to
all
sit
that
there.
shit.
It's like, oh, look, there it goes.
Friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been blessed in that. But there are a lot of people that don't have that.
Yeah.
And that's why we always, as far as the email address, we understand how hurtful it can be when you have had some kind of an experience and you don't feel like there's anyone that you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a matter of making a video, because we've always got topics that we can find on that. And if we put the invitation, if you want us to share your story and you do have that anonymity there, or if you just want to share that with us and you don't want it to go any further, that's it. That's as far as it will go. I will give you a response to your email. And that's, as far as the understanding, my God, we do get it. Now, as far as alien abduction, no, and I don't want it. These people have gone through hell.
I mean, I don't know if I was ever abducted. All I know is, like, tiny kid, being like, I miss my alien friends. Like, that's the only thing I remember.
Well,
but I don't even remember that.
When you do hear these people's stories, and especially the ones, the experimentation, the ones where these women have been impregnated and then the fetus was taken from them. And that was something that the doctors, you can't fake that shit.
No, you can't fake that shit at all. You can't fake the scars that will, like, literally, like, some of them will show up with, like, these little triangle scars on them, like, all of a sudden.
The 3 little dots that form a triangle.
I mean, even, like incisions, it looks like a needle that was formed in the shape of a triangle was, like, punctured, like, so, like, something could go in.
Right.
Like, and it could be implanted.
Sure, and there's all kinds of theories. It's like, is it a matter of MK Ultra? Is it a matter of government doing this to people and then implanting these memories to where they would think that it was aliens rather than the government doing these things?
I mean, that is possible.
I mean, there's all kinds of theories.
I wouldn't completely rule that out, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. More than likely, they do know about the aliens and know what they're doing.
Sure. And they're
allowing it to happen.
These people that have had these experiences, they have gone through something. There's no denying that. And so for their stories to just be discounted, them to be thought of as crazy or whatever, no. We enjoy people that have had experiences when they've been on some kind of substance. That is still something they experienced, and some of that can be fascinating. No, we are not encouraging anybody to, do anything.
No.
We
don't do shit.
We don't condemn nor condone. That's an individual choice. If you're an adult, you do you.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
But I thought that it was really, really weird that the science... And the science is doing some crazy shit. And the government has been remarkably quiet about what the science is doing, especially when it comes to the development of chimeras and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think it's screwy, but at the same time, it's not unexpected of them.
No. And that's just like we haven't looked at it yet, but there was a series that I think it was on Netflix about these chimeras. And of course, it's going to be put in a positive light. It's going to be one of these don't be judgmental. They're just whatever. Because you know it's going to be woke, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But is that another form of self-disclosure? We'll have to watch, a few episodes. That's where the baby was born and he was part deer or something.
I mean, that could be self-disclosure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of media out there that is very much self-disclosure. Black Mirror. Have you not got through Black Mirror?
No, I haven't, because this is one of those
Black
things.
Mirror is nothing but self-disclosure.
I started the first show there, and when something is that perverse within the first 10 minutes, I don't want it to be, it added nothing to the story.
That's just the first episode.
I don't care. It's like,
but they're individual stories. They're not all like that.
I don't want to watch pornography, period. If I wanted to watch that, there are places that are specifically designed for that.
If it makes you feel any better, they're all like, that stuff is faked.
I don't care. I don't care. It adds nothing to the storyline. So that's the reason. What was it we watched the other day that had nothing to do with that? It was a really good movie. Oh, it was called The Boy.
Mm.
And it was by the people who made the Underworld series.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
It didn't have any of that in it. It didn't need any of that in it.
Well, it was also in the early 2000s, and that stuff wasn't as common back then as it is now.
Well, it just, and I think that
I don't know,
shows how there are some things that need to be private. They really do. And that's sort of the further erosion of society. They don't want to hear anything about ethics. They don't want to hear anything about morality or modesty or any of that. So that's a problem. Yeah. They promote that stuff, and yet somebody who's had some kind of, abduction story, it's like, oh no, that person's crazy. Really? Who's defining crazy right now? I think it's the people that really are crazy.
Inmates are running the asylum.
Uh-huh. So we really want to know what your thoughts are on this, as far as the difference between the science and the government on the UFOs.
The science.
Yeah. It's craziness. Every day it's a new level of crazy.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. So if you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. If you do have a story or something that you do want made into a video, we ask that in the email that you specifically give us permission to use your story.
Aliens.
So that it's not just one of those, hey, I told her this and then she just went ahead and ran with it. No, we're not going to do that to you.
No.
So that, for your permission, we will not do anything until it says you have my permission to use this in a video.
Yeah. It's like, that's just a...
It's ethical.
Ethical. It's just a thing.
Try to be a decent human.
It's a basic respect thing.
Sure.
It
is.
So, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all and have a good.
Know that you're loved.
Yeah.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.